Well, good morning everybody. Welcome back to Firewood at the Furnace. We are in the beginning of a very cold snap here for Maryland. We've got some snow coming in the next day or so that's very unusual for us here in Maryland. For those of you up north, it may not seem like much, but we've got a storm coming that's supposed to bring around 8 inches of snow to us here in the next 36 hours or so. So before that gets here, I figured I would go ahead and tackle something that we have been talking about for quite a while, and that is building our very first firewood bin. As you know, we're going to be conveying all the firewood into bins from now on, so we're going to get started constructing that bin, and I've got a few questions along the way. Maybe you guys can give me some feedback, some input, some experiences, or just some ideas that might pop into your head. So as we go through this process here today, we'll talk about those. And the wind is blowing, so I'll do my best to keep you out of the wind, but stick around and we'll see what we get into. So the first thing I've been throwing around in my head is what size to make these bins. Now, the way that I am thinking about it in my mind is that this 24-foot conveyor that will be loading the bin, I have measured from the wheels of the conveyor out to where it drops the wood. So that, I think, should be about the halfway point for the depth of the bin. And I know as you raise the conveyor up higher, I've got it set pretty low now for dumping into the trailer, but obviously if we're going to be making bins and piling them high, we're going to be raising that up, and as you raise the conveyor up, that distance gets just a little bit closer, but not much. And it's about 8.5 foot. So if I double that, we're looking just roughly 16 foot of depth. The first bin is going to go right here at the corner of the gravel of the lot here behind the 1222. Obviously all this is going to get shifted and moved around, but I'm thinking if we go 16 foot deep, obviously we'll go 16 foot wide and make it a square bin. And when that gets full, we'll move to a second bin. That way we can kind of keep track of first in, first out kind of thing. But I'm going to do something a little bit different. You see the trailer here has got a few IBC totes loaded in it. And I've got several more down in the woods in the storage area. But what my plan is to outline this bin with the IBC tote cages. I'm not going to use pallets. You know, over time they get weak, the nails or screws pull out, you have to start having collapses and things like that. But I've got these totes here that I can use. I didn't pay anything for them. So I'm going to outline the perimeter in the bin, in the IBC totes, and then put pallets as the floor. Now we'll talk about one of the questions I have as far as the floor goes here when we get going. But I'm just going to start placing these bins and see how many it takes and get this thing outlined real quick. So this is my tote storage area down here. It's not too far away. So I'm just loading 3 of these up at a time. As I need them, I'll just come back down and get them. But I've got enough here to do these bins with, and I'll show you what I've got here in storage in just a second. But I just don't want to fight with the pallets falling down, things collapsing. This will make for great air circulation through the pile. So I just decided to try it with that. So here's a little bit of what I got stored away down here. There's a few here. There's more down here in the back. And there's even more on the other side of this pile that still have the bladders inside of them. But that's going to be the outline for the bins. And I haven't seen anybody else do it this way yet. But since I have them, I'm going to use them. All right, so the outline is done. Here's the look at the perimeter of the first bin. We're just about 16 by 16. And I think this looks to be, now that I can see it, it looks to be about right. I think if we start the conveyor at the low position. We'll be filling up a little more in the back, and as we come up, the pile will come to us. So I think that that calculation probably is going to work really well. And now we're going to get pallets in here to line the floor of the bin. Obviously this front side is going to stay open all the time. But another question I have is, should I do one layer of pallets or two layers of pallets? I want to get obviously some air movement underneath the pile, so I'm thinking 2 layers, but we'll go ahead and do 1 layer for now, see what that looks like. If I had the skid loader here with the forks on it, it would be a lot easier to bring these pallets over, but the skid loader has been moved to my house. It's sitting in the garage at the house right now, so that I don't have to shovel a whole lot of snow. I'll be able to use the machine to clear out my driveway, the neighbors' driveways, and all that good stuff. So we'll just take the 4-wheeler with the trailer over where I got some pallets stacked up here, bring them over and start getting them laid out. So I've got a nice endless supply of pallets coming in right now from my buddy Joe Gilbert. He's got a connection for some pallets, and he even delivers them here for me. So that works out really nice. And since he just delivered these the other day, I'm just going to go ahead and use these. I've got a bunch more down in the woods, but these either had to be moved to the woods or they were going to sit here out front, so might as well take these first and use them. Trying to do some quick math in my head and think about how many I'm going to need for 1 layer. If we're 16 by 16, these things are about 3 or 4 foot wide. 25 pallets maybe. I think 1 more will give us 25. I'll probably be 1 short. That's just how it goes sometimes. All right, let's go lay these out.
Keep talking good, keep talking sweet, keep sugar on, baby. I got you good, I got you sweet, got you on hold. My baby knows what I'm all about, what I'm all about.
Well, there we go. Did you count how many pallets that was there in the time lapse? It was exactly 25. Gosh, got lucky on that one. But here it is. This is 1 single layer of pallets. And my question to you all is, should I do a 2nd layer of pallets on top? I've never had a problem with 1 pallet when I did the rows. Everything dried okay, but since it's going to be a little bit bigger pile, I'm wondering if two sections of pallets on the floor will give me better airflow underneath the pile. Just wondering your thoughts on that. But there is the first bin, ready to get some firewood started loaded in. Now the good thing is, once this bin gets full and I go to make the 2nd bin, my first wall here is already completed. So I only need to make 2 more walls. And that will give a very nice air gap between the piles as well. So I think that is going to be a good thing. Let me know what you think. All right, that is it for today. I'm going to get on out of here, get back to the house, make sure I got the skid loader all greased up, fueled up, batteries charged, anything else I might need, get the snow shovels out so that I'm ready for this impending weather here in Maryland. Looks like it's really going to happen. A lot of times the weatherman says we're going to get snow and it ends up being a dud. But it looks like everything is coming together. This time we're actually going to have a snow event. So that is it for today. please leave comments below. Give me your ideas, give me your thoughts, both good and bad. And even though I might not do something that you suggest, it certainly helps. I certainly take it into consideration, and it helps me make better decisions. So we will see you back here next Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Take care, everybody. Stay warm and have a great week.